We are all connected in so many ways. Cities within a state, schools within a city, classrooms within a school, humans within a classroom. One teacher in one school will teach in one classroom. Their goal is to help all students in their classroom learn. Let's focus on one. This child, as a toddler, learned how to walk and talk without any formal instruction. No assessments, no grades, no deadlines. How did they manage that? Through observation and mimicking, trying, failing, overcoming, and growing. What made them learn? To reach things they want, to connect with others, to explore and discover. How is this any different than how a student learns in a school or classroom setting? Classroom teachers are responsible for more than one student, yet each student is still the responsibility of the classroom teacher. So before we address all students, let's focus on that one. How does this one child learn best? And I don't mean a hypothetical average child, or the highest or lowest achieving child. I mean this child. What combination of learning styles does this child understand and respond to? What skills and concepts does this child show most interest, and at what levels of mastery? How does this child show and celebrate learning of new skills and concepts? What goals are motivating this child to learn? Many teachers rely on intuition when addressing these kinds of questions. But what if every teacher could address these questions with intention? And what if the students were taught to address these types of questions themselves? Educators have already begun this shift by adopting ideas and practices of an approach called competency-based learning. How can one teacher answer all those questions for all their students? Well, they can't. But students can. Learning is change. We can teach students how to learn, how to change, to accept, adapt, and communicate new skills and concepts. Educators are beginning to adopt and adapt these kinds of beliefs and practices related to metacognitive development. So what can one teacher do to start exploring these kinds of ideas? Well, they might identify whether more passive or active learning strategies are being used. They can discuss who is more in charge of the learning taking place in their different classes. Teachers can share how assessments are measuring growth more than they're measuring proficiency. These ideas are directly related to how teachers approach their classroom's environment and management. Now consider yourself as that child, and imagine the school structure in which you learned. How were you encouraged to take ownership of your learning even without a standards-based approach? Were metacognitive skills taught to foster your own awareness of your learning? And how did the management of the classroom environment activate and engage your desire to learn? Now consider how your experiences have shaped your perspective as a teacher. How has your perspective been shaped to define the role of the student and the teacher? Is the role of the teacher to drill, lecture, and overcome resistance to learning, with students dependent on your authority? Is it to lecture with inspiration and direct student learning? Is it to facilitate student involvement of more collaborative learning? Is it to delegate and consult students as they learn to manage and direct themselves as developing learners? What's important about this exploration of how one student learns is how an approach that focuses on each student is an approach that can apply to all students. One way to begin shifting to such an approach is to start with one strategy, one practice, then another, and then another. Consider exploring competency-based learning by identifying the learning strategies students are using in your classroom, connecting a skill or concept progression of standards across grade levels. Maybe you start by defining the depth of knowledge of a single standard assessment, or creating a proficiency rubric for grading according to a standard. Perhaps you connect your curriculum with the specific learning needs of a student. When it comes to metacognitive development, perhaps you identify one influence metacognition has on how humans think. Maybe you choose to communicate how procedures, skills, can be applied to higher level concepts, or identify strategies for monitoring learning of a standard over time. maybe you choose to compare benefits of intra and interpersonal communication strategies, or look into using a cognitive rigor matrix to design a new reassessment policy. To address classroom environment and management, maybe you decide to identify one active learning strategy to promote ownership of learning, or you create prompts that spark discussion and exploration of one skill or concept. Maybe you decide to identify an hour in a week where students may explore their own interests, or create a learning feedback loop that is qualitative, not quantitative. Maybe you decide to describe what inquiry could look like when exploring new skills and concepts. Starting with one can spark interests in others, and you might just want to start exploring these ideas for yourself as you engage in personal and professional learning opportunities. The more of us that start with one, the more we'll see how connected we are in so many ways that might influence the way we approach our classrooms, which could positively influence our schools, our city, and our state. Start with one, but don't stop there.